This is exactly what they don't want you to know, and you could potentially become a millionaire by just paying attention.
I ain't gonna give in now, I just gotta live this now. I ain't gonna beam and I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go take it to town, cause I gotta be that king in the ring when I'm knocking them out when I'm back with the win. Cause I am just up on the journey, just know that I'm just going insane.
Warriors, rise. Grand rising, good evening, warriors all over the world. I want to start out today on this Wednesday with an attitude of gratitude, and from my family's heart to yours, I truly, truly love you. My name is Coach JV. What I do is I take macro and micro information, macroeconomic information, and I break it down to hopefully make the complex simple. What I want to share here to tell you is that I'm working to help as many people as possible navigate into this new quantum system, Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, industrial to technical, and the biggest shift in generational wealth in our human history. So I'd love to coach with you privately. We open up our private coaching program. We have another group starting on April 3rd. We have 10 spots available. Well, we have 2 spots filling up right now, so there'll be 8 spots available. By April 3rd, the new class will start. Click the description down below, fill out an application, and one of my team members will reach out to you. If you want to jump in self-paced, you can jump into the Warrior Academy 7 days for free in 2023. Well, you came here to get educated. You came here to get motivated, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So what I'm going to be presenting to you today, and I'm going to be showing you the actual narrative that is happening. Now, we watched this video. Now, I like to revisit videos, and I like to take you guys deeper, because what I do is after I do my research, I go back into it. I listen to voice inflection. I watch everything moving. I looked at they're putting us up there to look at UFOs, and I asked myself, what is happening over here? Now, we do know that the World Economic Forum says that they want us to go to zero carbon by 2030. We do know that Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, said he's worried about the middle class coming back, getting leverage towards coming back to a new economy, getting leverage towards technology. The middle class is getting wiped out, leverage towards AI technology. We have new blockchain technology coming out. Your banking system is going to be completely different. And one of the biggest narratives is going to be around ESG, environmental, social governance. And the ISO tokens are aligning with that perfectly. So you have to look at the companies that were sitting at the World Economic Forum. Circle is highly connected to BlackRock, was at the World Economic Forum this year. BlackRock is connected to Coinbase through Aladdin, connected to Coinbase Prime. Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse was sitting with regulators. There was very few crypto companies at the World Economic Forum. And last year, there was a bunch of crypto companies. And this year, they had the most crypto forums. So they're showing you where we're heading when they tell you cryptocurrency is a fraud to look this way. They're moving you into blockchain this way. So we're going to listen to the back end of this interview again. And I'm going to show you facts, figures, numbers, logic, and reconnect you back to the Hyperledger fabric and show you exactly what I believe is happening and how if people invest in the rails, not go after the get rich quick, but invest in the actual rails, you could become very, very wealthy.
To make adjustments.
How much of that reaction, though, from investors do you think is based on the political backlash? And I want to read you, this is from Patrick McHenry, recently announcing a new working group for what he calls a threat to capital markets posed by the far left. He says progressives are trying to do with American business what they already did to our public education system, using institutions to force their far left ideology on American people. Their latest tool in these efforts is environmental, social, and governance proposals. How much of you think of this as the political machine putting pressure on the investor class, which is then putting pressure on you?
Okay, let's pause for just a moment and break down what he just said. So he's asking him, and watch Gary's voice inflection right after this. Watch how he swallows, He's saying, share with me, is politics putting pressure on you guys and the financial system on how we should properly regulate this and move? So we know politics and money go hand in hand, 100%, We know that BlackRock, Larry Fink, sits on the board of trustees for the World Economic Forum. Their mission is zero carbon by 2030. The board of trustees' mission or job is to move that mission forward. So the largest asset manager in the world, Gary Gensler, is a Wall Street insider, right? He used to be in the Wall Street, right? He sat on the CFTC. Now he sits on the board for the SEC. Jay Clayton used to sit on the board for the SEC. Now he sits on the FDIC, and he consults for cryptocurrency funds. If you go pull up what board of directors he's on, all these players in place, the politics and money go hand in hand, and they're telling you right here where we're heading. Okay. Watch his response to this question.
Look, I like to say we're merit neutral, whether it's about crypto or climate risk, but we're non-investor protection neutral or capital formation neutral. And so it's about, just in this space for us, it's about bringing consistency and comparability to disclosures that are already being made about climate risks. And investors seem to be today making decisions about this information, these disclosures, and it's not to us about achieving anything else but some consistency and comparability and disclosures.
Okay.
Let me ask.
So just, did you see his, I mean, how his voice inflection was? It's like, basically, we're just making sure people have disclosures. We're making sure people read their 500-page documents when they're working 2 jobs and trying to keep food on the table. We're just hoping that Mrs. Jones, who has her massive retirement sitting at BlackRock or sitting at Wells Fargo Bank or sitting at JP Morgan, that she reads the 500-page disclosures and she knows that we're going to be moving them into ECG, environmental social governance, and that we have this. But guys, there's no invisible enemy here. They're not hiding. There's nobody to fight. I'm literally showing you. They're telling you where we're going. There is nobody to fight against. That's the biggest thing is, you got these groups out there like, oh, go against this or go against what? They're showing you the blueprint. Like, imagine if, you don't have an enemy. They're literally telling us where they're going. It's like, here you go. Here's the playbook. Go ahead and argue about it. They know we're going to fight about it. They know we're going to argue about it. They know we're going to say there's some nefarious person stopping us. The best way to do it is fix ourselves. If we fix ourselves, they have to change. If every single person fixed themselves, they would have to change. There'd be no enemy. They want us fighting against each other. They're literally saying, what are you fighting about? We're showing you right here. Ripple, November 28, 2022. Follow the climate pledge, guys. Ripple, meeting global goals is not an individual effort. Why we signed the climate pledge. Ripple pledges to be zero carbon by 2030, okay? Races are meant to be won, and meeting the Paris Agreement goal of keeping global warming at 1.5 degrees Celsius or below is the must-win race of a lifetime. This means reducing emissions, protecting the world's natural carbon sinks, and aggressively removing carbon from the atmosphere now. This is why close to 400 companies, including Ripple, have signed the climate pledge commitment to net zero by 2040. Ripple is a blockchain solution company that is transforming how the world moves, manages tokenized value. Through proven blockchain technology, honored over a decade, Ripple enables global financial institutions, business, governments, and development to developers to source crypto, facilitate instant payments, lower capital requirements, and drive new revenue, helping to unlock greater economic opportunity for everyone. Everywhere, Ripple is one of today's top enterprise blockchain companies with products in commercial use by hundreds of customers across 50 countries. Ripple utilizes XRP and the XRPL, the world's first since 2020 major global carbon neutral blockchain, as a foundation for its product and service, building sustainable enterprises-grade solutions that move faster, more transparent, more cost-effective than traditional financial services. Okay, zero carbon. Ripple leads the sustainability agenda into 2030, okay? This is matching up with the World Economic Forum. Brad Garlinghouse, they sit as a partner on the World Economic Forum, okay? This is the climate pledge with 399 signatories. You can go through here, through all the different companies, okay? You can dive through all these. I'm going to show you in just a moment, all the supporting groups, okay? For Hyperledger. These are all the signatories, all the companies that are working. So why do you think all these companies are working? There's Ripple right there. All these different companies are working towards zero carbon. Okay. If they don't, okay, financially, they are not going to get their funding. They're not going to get their funding. I'm just telling you that. Okay. The Pope is traveling around encouraging people to go zero carbon. Okay. Why is the Pope doing that? The Vatican is one of the largest financial institutions in the world, investment firms in the world. I don't know if they'll call them a firm. They are a very, 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 very wealthy organization. Okay. There's just all these. Why are all these companies moving to zero carbon? because they're not going to get their funding. Okay. The financial system is switching to zero carbon. Okay. If you're not part of environmental social governments, okay. So we got environment, social governance is like, it's like social geopolitical things. Okay. And then the governance is tracking. And that's what blockchain helps them do. I want to dive into the fact sheet with you guys. They're showing us where we're going. And so what are some of the blockchains, right? If you look at the ISO tokens, all of them on there are climate friendly. I think all of them are climate friendly if you take a look at it. Now with Ethereum moving over to proof of stake from proof of work. This is September 2022, the fact sheet, climate change and energy implications of crypto assets. If you scroll down here, they talk about how energy intensive cryptocurrency is and the greenhouse gases. Crypto assets activity in the United States is estimated to result in approximately 25 to 50 MT CO2, whatever that thing is, of greenhouse emissions. This range of emissions is similar to emissions from diesel fuel used in railroads in the United States. Banks, energy, branches, right? When you get rid of all the branches because you don't need it, because you have distributed ledger technology and all this technology where you don't need people inside of branches and electricity, it doesn't make any sense. This is a narrative, guys. This stuff is a narrative around energy intensive. That's why they highlight, or I highlighted, they highlight distributed ledger technology, DLT, which that's what Ripple does. That's what you got XLM, you got a lot of these ISO, okay, R3. These are all DLT, distributed ledger technology. DLT may have a role to play in enhancing market infrastructure for a range of environmental markets like carbon credit markets. Through other solutions might work as well or better. The potential benefits of distributed ledger technology would need to outweigh the additional emissions and other environmental externalities from the result of operations to merit broader use relative to the markets or mechanisms that DLT displaces. Use cases are still emerging, and like all emerging technologies, there are potential positive and negative use cases yet to be imagined. Responsible development of the technology would encourage innovation in DLT application while reducing energy intensive, minimizing environmental changes. It's not by chance that Ethereum last year switched to proof of stake, right? It's Ethereum's deep in the banking system, fam. Okay, Hyperledger Foundation. I highly recommend you dive into the Hyperledger fabric. So if you look at the Hyperledger Foundation, okay, they're all about climate change, tackling climate change with blockchain, an urgent need to ready opportunity call to action. So they're all in it. If blockchain is really going to change the world, then why are so many of us stuck in pilot purgatory? It's because of our distributed ledgers are too disruptive to the existing incumbents, or they already have solutions that are good enough, at least for now. So breakthrough ideas like blockchain could wait on the back burner. Okay. Is a large-scale urgent business problem out there that requires massive collaboration and does not have existing incumbents? We believe there is one. Climate change. Let me repeat that. Okay. Is there a large-scale urgent business problem out there that requires massive collaboration and does not have an existing incumbents? We believe so. Climate change. Climate change. Climate change. World Economic Forum, climate change. They're literally giving us the blueprint, fam. Okay. So if we take a look, Hyperledger Foundation, they're tackling climate change. SEC is tackling the reporting for climate change. World Economic Forum is pushing the narrative for climate change. BlackRock with Aladdin has very sophisticated climate change trading services. Bridgewater, one of my favorite economists would be Ray Dalio. They're moving into climate change. Blackstone is moving into climate change. And Hyperledger Foundation, all of these partners, Accenture, American Express, IBM, we know those are connected over to HBAR, right? We got T-Mobile, we got DLT Labs, we got all these companies, FedEx. These are all in the Hyperledger, guys. It's all interconnected. The web is there. R3, Wells Fargo, Ripple. R3 is with Wells Fargo. That's not Wells Fargo. Ripple is with Bank of America. We got Visa. We got Walmart. I mean, the list goes on and on. Okay, you can dive into all this stuff. This is the stuff that I look through on a daily basis. I do this to make sure and confirm that I am properly investing for my family's future, right? It's like there is no invisible enemy. We're not going to stop this climate freight train. You're not going to stop politics. You're not going to stop money and politics going hand in hand. There is no invisible enemy. By arguing with people on Twitter isn't going to do anything. The only way to be change is to be love and to be the frequency. That's it. You're fighting against the invisible enemy. This is nothing new under the sun. This is rotated over and over and over again. If you want to change the world and you want peace in the world, then be peaceful. If you want love in the world, then be loving. If you want to be rich, then be abundant, right? Stop fighting invisible. We're not against anybody in our academy. We stand for love. We stand for peace. We stand for freedom. And we stand for standing up for ourselves and getting our shit together in 2023. It's the greatest time in human history. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope this information reaches you well. I know it's not super exciting information, but this is what's really happening. This is what Warren Buffett talks about. Okay, intrinsic value. Real world solve. Companies that are going to change the world will be part of the change of our world. So we're investing in the shovels and the rails, not the get rich quick, not the people that went to the hills for the gold. So appreciate you guys. I would love to coach with you privately. If you click the link down below, you can interview with one of my team members. If you want to jump into the academy, 7 days for free in 2023 and check out what all the hype is about. Over 6,000 warriors worldwide have absolutely changed their life since 2020. So hope to see you inside. And we'll talk to you soon. Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go.